Do you have a child in special education? Do you have questions about IEPs, 504s, or any other special education terms? Ferndale Friends of Different Learners is an independent organization of parents, teachers, staff, and community members dedicated to maximizing the potential of all different learners in Ferndale Public Schools. We have meetings during the school year where we discuss these topics as well as other topics of interest to special education students and their families. Visit us on the web for the most current information about meeting dates, times, topics, webinars, and other information.
Hello and welcome to Google Apps for Education and Accessibility Tech Tips, where we'll cover a couple of tips for you working with your student in Google Apps for Education. My name is Lauren Villaluz, and I am the Technology Integration Specialist through Oakland Schools working with Ferndale Public Schools. And my role is to support our staff, students, and community integrating technology into our district and classrooms. I wanted to begin with an introduction to our Google Apps for Education accounts. We started implementation of Google Apps for Education accounts in 2014 with our staff, and this school year, at the beginning of the year, we started implementation with our students. So now each of our students have access to a Google Apps for Education account. They have a unique username and a unique password. And this Google Apps for Education account includes a lot of fantastic tools for learning, including Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Calendar, Google Classroom, Gmail, and YouTube, among many others. And our students use these Google Apps for Education accounts for lots of different things, but they're able to communicate and collaborate with their teachers and peers, submit assignments to teachers, create work, and complete assignments. They're also able to learn about becoming responsible digital citizens with this ownership of a school account. And they're able to access school-related learning materials anytime and anywhere because our Google Apps for Education accounts are cloud-based and students can access them across any device. So they can begin working on a document at school on a school computer, can continue working on that document on their mobile device. They can then continue working on that document at a public library or at home because everything, all of the content, it remains in the same spot across platforms. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about how you can support your students specifically with Google Apps for Education, we are holding a Plugged in Learning and Technology series for our Ferndale families. And this is a series that we began in January and are continuing on in April. So if you can save the date tentatively for Wednesday, April 13th from 6:30 till 7:45 at the Ferndale Middle School, Ferndale High School Media Center. We're going to have some hands-on learning with Google Apps and how you can support your students. So if you want to know a little bit more about each tool within the Google Apps for Education umbrella, please save the date for that, and I look forward to seeing you there. So there are two tools that we're going to dive into today. The first is called voice typing, and it is a phenomenal tool for empowering our students all to have a voice, even though they might not necessarily be able to communicate it in writing at all times. So built into our Google Apps for Education is a tool called Google Docs. Google Docs is the equivalent of a Microsoft Word, and it's the word processing tool. Built into Google Docs, there is a feature for students to turn on with a microphone called voice typing, and we're going to just demonstrate how that works for you. So the first thing that a student would need to do is to log into their Google Apps for Education account, and they can access that in lots of different ways. For me personally, I always start in my Drive, and so I go to drive.google.com and log myself in, and then I start a new Google Doc, and that's going to open up a blank document for me. And in order to activate voice typing, you'll see it doesn't automatically turn on. I'm going to go into Tools, and I'm going to come down to the voice typing option. It's got a microphone next to it just for extra emphasis there. And you do have to click on it in order to start speaking, because you can alternate between typing and speaking as well, especially if you want to make edits or changes. So I'm just going to click on that. As soon as I click on the button, it will activate voice typing, and you will notice I can talk at a normal rate, and it does a pretty good job at navigating my words. You can also give it commands so that it incorporates things like a period, new line, backspace. So it also incorporates different verbal commands to add in different grammatical features as well. You're going to just click the red button to turn off voice typing, and that's voice typing. So again, voice typing is a really great way to get students to communicate their ideas and then go back and reflect and reread what they had communicated, and actually see their ideas in writing. The second tool that we're going to take a look at is something called a Google Chrome extension, and this particular Chrome extension is called Speak It. Now, a Chrome extension is using the Google Chrome web browser. So if you normally use Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox, this unfortunately is not built into those web browsers. You would have to actually download the Chrome web browser in order to use this tool, which is free and does work really well with the rest of our Google tools. So this is an extension called Speak It. An extension basically extends the functionality of our web browser. So we're going to take a look at Speak It. So the first thing that I did was open up Google Chrome web browser. So again, if I opened up Firefox or Internet Explorer or Safari, this tool is unfortunately not available. There may be equivalent tools to this, so you can do some research and see if there is something within those other web browsers. In Google Chrome, though, you can just Google search for Speak It, the Google Chrome extension, and the first one that should pop up is something called Speak It in the Chrome Web Store. So this is where you find all Google Chrome extensions. An extension is something that will pop up over here. So all these little icons in the corner here are extensions. So they do something to add to the current functionality of my web browser. So for example, this one will take all of my tabs and put them into one tab with the click of this button. And there are other different extensions. So Speak It is actually a tool. If we click on it here, it's going to pop up and tell us what it does. It actually will allow students to select and highlight text and have it read to them. So it's really, really helpful for our struggling readers and writers to be able to navigate more complicated text, especially digitally. So once I open up this extension, all I'm going to do is click this blue Add to Chrome button. And it's going to say, do you want to add Speak It? It can read and change your data. It can read all text spoken using synthesized speech. So again, that's just you agreeing to the terms. I'm going to go ahead and add that extension. And it even gives you a little confirmation. You're awesome. Speak It was installed. So now over here in the right-hand corner, it's a little bit difficult to see because my browser is black, but there is a little speaker button here. And if I click it, there is a play button here. And so it will start to then be able to highlight text or just have it read a page. So again, this is a really great tool for sites like this where there is a lot of text and images and media coming at me, and I just want to focus on the content within this article. So I could highlight just the first sentence, I can highlight the entire article, I can highlight the first paragraph, and then all I have to do is come over here, hit my Speak It button, and hit my play button. I can hit pause if I need to pause at any point, and then to start fresh, I hit stop. So at any point, if it gets stuck, I usually go back and I hit the stop button, and then I'll hit play again. So it won't be working for you because you won't be able to hear it through my computer speakers. But when you download it, it should, again, when you highlight that text, start to speak. You can kind of see the red bubble to indicate that it has been speaking. Again, Speak It is a really great tool for making the web more accessible for all of our students. Also, Speak It and voice typing are built into Google and different Google tools. Currently, they are free, which also means that you can encounter bugs because they are free tools and not paid. There are also some really great paid tools on the market, but I like to start with the free, find out what the limitations are, and then move from there. So these are two tools that we currently use in the classroom to help support all of our students as well. If you have any further questions about these tools or Google Apps for Education accounts, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll also look forward to seeing you at our next Plugged In Learning event.